Peace, peace, peace. What is good, amazing, beautiful people? It is the one, the only, the Joey Digital. Checking in real fast, real quick in this moment. Yes, it is a little bit late, and as always, I never give any warning when I go live, but I'm here, happy to be here. I'm happy that you are here. I'm happy that we are sharing time and space in this moment. And I just want to go ahead and send you waves and waves and waves of positive energy in this moment, positive frequency and vibrations in this moment. All right. Yeah, so yeah, it's a little bit late, and this probably won't be a long live because I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm about to just go ahead and hop in the shower real quick, brush my teeth, take it down, get ready for tomorrow. But I definitely have some good news as always. You know, I was by the crystal store earlier. I was by Bohemishi, and I went ahead and picked up some new crystals that I would love to share with you all. And plus I want to update y'all with, you know, just everything that's been going on the page and also on the website as well, you know. But I had a really good experience earlier picking up some crystals. I was actually there, and I was at Bohemian Chic. I wasn't even essentially going to buy any crystals. I was just, you know, like sometimes I just like to go there and just, you know, see what they have and just, you know, relax, enjoy the vibe, all that good stuff. But you know me, man, I gotta get something, man. So I went ahead and got some ASTROPHYLLITE crystal right here. It's kind of like golden white. And I also picked up some rainbow aqua. What is it? Rainbow aqua. No, rainbow. I'm wildin'. Rainbow aura rose quartz right here. Y'all know I love my rose quartz. This is actually, like, if you could tell, it's a little bit more iridescent than my other rose quartz. Hold on. My other rose quartz. This is my rough rose quartz, and this is my new one, the rainbow aura rose quartz. Now, real quick, y'all know I like to amplify the crystals, so I got my Super 7 going, so that's going to amplify the energy. Y'all know I'm wearing the Moldavite. It's on underneath it here. But the reason what drew me to those crystals today is the aura of the rose quartz that I got, the new rose quartz. What I'm learning just from working with it for the past couple of hours is it gives you a heightened field as far as like love, the love that you experience, because you know rose quartz is a love-based crystal. All right, now the rainbow aura rose quartz, it's a heightened version, it's an accelerated version of what you would experience with the normal rose quartz, which means that it's not overpowering, but you will access like the angelic realm, which is, you know, essentially it's anything dealing with the angels or God. That's love frequency, you know. And it's a really good crystal. I'm learning to, you know, to tap in and, you know, really get everything going. Now I do have some notes because, as I said earlier, I just got it, so I'm essentially, you know, I'm not gonna know everything today. And this is like the first time I've ever seen it, so you know, it was one of those like impulse, like I wasn't even planning on getting it, and when I saw it I said, you know what, this is something that I want to get. So when I got the rainbow aura rose quartz, it's bonded. All right, the notes say it's bonded with precious metals like titanium, and that's what gives it the iridescent sheen, you know. And the energy is enhanced. The energy that you receive is enhanced. The energy that you emit is enhanced. You know, now, you know, I'm putting my notes away. I'm just gonna talk on my basic, you know, my experience, because that's what y'all are here for. Y'all are here for my experience, not what the notes say, per se. Hit that like button. So what I'm trying to achieve is I want to achieve a harmonious love experience, like, not, you know, not the kind of love experience, like, I'm not talking about like love like I'm looking for somebody or nothing like that, but I'm just talking about walking in love, like being in love with myself, with what I experience. And I already have rose quartz as it is, and I always meditate with it every day. Anyway, plus I wear it on me all day anyway, and I keep most of my crystals on me all day, any day. So with this particular crystal, it's really good with just getting that higher level of the love frequency. And it's not going to be like a calming love frequency. It's going to be like just a embodiment of the love. Now, ASTROPHYLLITE, on the other hand, this is a crystal that is a really good grounding crystal, and it's good for your crown chakra. Okay, so it's really good for your crown chakra. It's really good for your grounding. And what it does is this too opens you up to the angelic realm as well. As y'all could tell, I love working with angel energy and God force energy. So, but with this particular crystal, it's very grounding, and it's really good for doing shadow work as well. All right, while opening you up to what your true purpose is. So when you're grounding and you're doing the shadow work, it's gonna just show you everything as it is. Like, so it's gonna be like, you know, it is what it is. So you're gonna see things about yourself that you've never seen before. You're gonna see things that maybe you've not dealt with that, you know, will come up. And, you know, that's pretty much the premise of doing shadow work. Like, shadow work is about, you know, really sitting with yourself and doing the healing work necessary so that you can have a fulfilling life while you're here in the third dimension. So what ASTROPHYLLITE does is it shows you areas of yourself that you need to work on, and, you know, not in a shameful way, but just just think of it as a flashlight in the darkness. You know, like, it's like a flashlight in the darkness that kind of shines light on things that maybe you swept under the rug or you refuse to deal with. But these things are things that once you deal with them, it will heal you, and you will ascend, you know, and you will be your greatest version, and you won't have to carry a story around in order to have sympathy, or you know, you don't have to force people to feel good about you. You're gonna, by working with this crystal, you're gonna feel good about yourself before anybody can come along and tell you what your traits are. And that's just from me working with this crystal. This is not my notes. You know, I do have my notes over there, but I haven't even looked at them yet since I started this video. So, you know, all right, so what happens is, with the crown chakra opening, that is, you're gonna be, as I said earlier, you're gonna be accessing the angelic realm. You're gonna be accessing, you know, your higher self, your higher conscience. But it's where it really excels at is that it excels with your astral traveling. So your ability to daydream or astral travel or put yourself in specific I don't want to say predicaments, because I don't think that's a good word to place there, but you kind of put yourself in spaces where you can see if that's an area you want to thrive in, or if that's not an area that you want to visit. whether that's past or future. You know, when I say past or future, just think of Akashic records, like just like that type of energy. Like if you want to know what you excelled at in the past, Akashic records. If you want to know what you will excel at in the future, Akashic records. Since the beginning of time, Akashic records. Since the end of until the end of time, which time is, as we all know, is not linear. Akashic records. You know, so you'll know your whole story by working with ASTROPHYLLITE. But you can really, you know, thrive with the astral traveling and being able to visit different areas of yourself, because you're already going to be traveling and doing that work while you're doing the shadow work already. So it's just a balance, you know. It's the opening of your root chakra and your crown chakra. That's what this crystal is for, and that's why I decided today to get these two, because I want my root chakra to be open and I want my crown chakra to be open, but I will also want to embody the love frequency as well, so that way it can just be an embodiment of the love frequency, and I can also access different areas that maybe I haven't reached yet or I refuse to get to, and do the work on them, but do it with the love energy as well. So as y'all know, I got the Moldavite on, so everything is accelerated. It's gonna, that's just the way it is, you know. Hit that like button. But yeah, you know, enough about all of that. I just want to talk about some other things as well. You know, of course, good news. It was brought to my attention today that there will be a full moon coming up in the next several weeks or so. Don't quote me on the several weeks or so aspect. So, you know, I definitely encourage you to do the research, because I have to do the research now because I was enlightened about it and I didn't know. So, you know, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I'm not good with the astrology, I'm not good with the moons and all that stuff, but I'm interested in it. So when I found out, I was excited initially, because everything has been going good ever since you know, the Lions Gate was closed, has closed, and also ever since, you know, the what's the other word that I'm looking for? There was another event that happened, Mercury retrograde. Ever since all of that happened, everything has become super positive in my life. Everything pretty much has been, you know, flowing. There is no need to really aspire to do too much. Everything, you know, what will be. What's for me is for me. If it is anything that's not for me, it's leaving, or it has left already. And so when I found out about the new moon, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, all I see is ascension. Like, I see, you know, we're going up. You know what I mean? Because if everything is good now, hey, you know, I'm ready to see what's going to happen next, because everything is up. It's super up, right? So, you know, it's just a good vibe. You know, just good to know. And I'm getting around to it. I gotta get my skills up with my astrology and with my you know, knowing my moons and knowing my signs and stuff like that. But I feel like at least I'm on the right path, and I feel like when it comes to me, I'll know when it's the right time to have that calling to jump into it and go full steam. You know, hit that like button. That's a confirmation. You know, if you're not into moons or anything like that, you know, to get into it, you know, why not? You know, at least just learn it. But you know, you don't have to apply anything. But as long as you're in the know, then nobody has to tell you what you should know. You'll already know what you need to know, and that's with anything, you know. But you know, I'm really doing the work, man. I'm doing the work. I'm doing the homework. It is what it is. You know, I'm loving it. I gained a lot of subscribers. You know, I lost a few people, but it's all love at the end of the day. And you know, I feel, you know, I always, it, it if I'm gonna address the losing people aspect, I feel like a lot of times, and it, you know, it came to me a few weeks ago, but you know, source kind of was telling me, you know, wait and share this, but I be feeling like, honestly, that like when you help people get to where they need to get to, that then they will subscribe, because, and it's not a negative thing, it's just that you've helped them. Like, I feel like when you help people and you help enlighten them and you help motivate them and you help inspire them to get to where they need to be, and now they're healed, now they can move on, you know. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. I feel like with social media, like, there's such a bad stigma about people unfollowing you or not wanting to see what you got going on. And you know, I feel like that's ego, you know. Like, I feel like that's the dark side of the ego, you know. And I always, you know, I'm always promoting the bright side of the ego, but I just feel like it's just a little too extra, you know. Like, it's kind of extra, you know, to really sit and think about, you know, somebody unfollowed. I don't know, I don't want to get into it. It's too, the energy is super heavy. But if you shift your perspective, I feel like when you are able to help people thrive and strive and get to a point where they don't have to strive anymore and they don't have to work hard to be happy anymore, and then they're able to unsubscribe or anything like that, I feel like that's beautiful, because you were able to be a service. You know, you were able to help people evolve and get out of a rut or get out of a cycle. And I think it's beautiful, even if they never get to tell me thank you or anything like that, or even if they never get to check back in. You know, I feel like I was able to help, you know. And as we said, you know, as I heard it being said before, you know, and maybe you've heard this being said before, a lot of time your blessings don't come from the people, they come from other people. You know what I mean? So the person you bless, the blessing might not come from them, it may come from someone else, you know, or it may come from yourself, or it may come from God or the universe. Whatever you resonate with, hit that like button. But anyways, when you're dealing with karma, you get what you put out, you know. So when you do right by people and you do good by people, that's what's coming to you, you know. And so even if you don't get anything from the other person, it's coming from a new person. And you know, we always hold capacity for the new, and whether it's people, places, or things, you know, the noun. Yeah, I learned that from school. But or whatever, you know, you find a way to have the capacity to have the space to embrace change and embrace growth, embrace change. And you know, that's what we're over here for, you know, the ocean experience, you know. And so as a sidebar, I'll jump back on that in a second, but as a sidebar, y'all see I've been super active on the website. Definitely, if you want to support the website, go over there and see what I have going on. I have some things going on. I also have some new merch coming too. It's been a while since I've done merch. I used to frequent the merch, like going. But you know, I definitely took a step back because I wanted to zero in on, or in other words, I wanted to niche down. I wanted to really niche down with what I'm creating, because, you know, as artists, when you know you can create anything and you're like a savant, you know, I consider myself a savant. I feel like anything I do it excellent. You know, I do it great. So I feel like the space that I put myself in was, I was doing everything. You know what I mean? I was doing this, I was doing that, I was doing it, you know. So, you know, especially when you're creating merch and you're a good artist and you're good with fonts and you're good with, you know, placement, and you're good with color coordination and pushing the narrative and getting it to the people and everything like that, you kind of get, it's not a rut, but you kind of get stuck up. You know, like you get stuck doing excellent stuff, but it's just a bunch of stuff. And I feel like by me taking a step back and being able to niche down and then reintroducing everything, as, you know, beachwear and, you know, maybe coffee mugs and stuff like that, I feel like it's been definitely picking up some traction. And it was going to work either way. Like, I could have stayed doing the streetwear and apparel. I could have stayed doing that and it was going to still pop. Like, you know, trust and believe. But I just feel like when you're more sure of what you want to do, it's always a better thing, you know. So anyways, go ahead and check out the website if you're inspired to. You know, the love is real. You know, and to the people who spent money with me and always support the brand, you know, I truly appreciate y'all. Thank you. And even if y'all just shared the stuff, even if y'all didn't buy anything, but y'all shared my content here or there, or you let people know that I had stuff going on other than the YouTube, you know, you are greatly appreciated as well. Thank you kindly, 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 kindly. All right, for everything. And for being yourself, you know. Yeah, there was something else I wanted to share too as well. Yeah, I wanted to ask y'all, how have y'all been, man? Like, what's new? You know, what is new? Definitely let me know in the comments. Let's connect in the comments. Let me know what things have happened. Let me know about the blessings. Let me know about everything. If you feel inspired to, you know, because I know a lot of us, especially on social media, you know, it is a good thing to be private a lot of times. You know, I've learned to pull my energy all the way back and be private. Like, I like to be private, except for this is my avenue right here, you know, YouTube. You know, I love sharing. You know, I feel like I could be myself on here. I feel like us as a tribe, you know, we just be rocking out, man. You know, and you know, I be, you know, creating amazing content for y'all. Y'all know that I subscribe to y'all channels as well, and y'all be creating amazing content. And you know, we just reciprocate off of one another, you know. And we call it reciprocity. It's just a whole lot of reciprocity, of positivity. And you know, I love it, man. You know, and I feel more comfortable being open here as opposed to like Instagram or Facebook or I think TikTok is cool, but I've never. I get a lot of love on TikTok. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I get a lot of love on TikTok when I post, because your boy don't be posting over there, and I feel like I'm missing out. But hey, I gotta get it. I gotta be in it to win it, you know. And when I start posting a lot more on TikTok, then I'll be able to tell if I missed out or if I didn't miss out. So that's something that I gotta hold myself a little more accountable with, is posting more on TikTok. But as I was saying before I interrupted myself, posting on Facebook, posting on Instagram, you know, the shelf life is like maybe 4 minutes. You know what I mean? Or if the people decide to be on the app for the day, they might see your post, or they'll never see your post. So I feel like, as you know, as a content creator on YouTube, people gonna always check out your stuff. Even if they just subscribed yesterday, they're gonna go back and check out your stuff from a year ago, 2 years ago, you know. And I always have content about, you know, my Moldavite, and you know, sometimes I'll be pulling cards, I'll be doing the tarot, sometimes I'll be working out, sometimes I'll be talking about inspiration, motivation. I'll be talking about God, or I'll be talking about shifting realities, or I'll be talking about paradigm shifts, or I'll be talking about how to raise your frequency. You know, like I'll be just vibing out, you know. And it's easy to me because I'm always studying, and I'm always doing the homework, and I'm always doing the work all the time. And every chance I get, I'm trying to learn. And I ask a lot of questions, you know. I always ask a lot of questions because, you know, you never want to be at a point where you feel like you know too much, because even I can learn more. Even now, you know, I can learn a lot more now than I know now. And there's always going to be somebody that knows more than I do. And those are the people I want to be around, is the people that know more than me. Trust me. If you know more than me, hit me up, because I'm egoless. You know what I mean? I don't have no pride. I don't have no ego. I don't mind sitting and learning your way. You know what I mean? However you want to show me. You know, you don't have to dress